Hello everyone, today I'll show you a game between Bobby Fischer and Samuel Reshevsky. This game was played in 1958, a long time ago. So Bobby Fischer was the world champion and he was a young grandmaster at that time, and he was just starting his brilliant chess career before he had all these problems and before he refused to play the world championship. So Samuel Reshevsky was a very strong grandmaster at that time. He was a champion of USA and he played against a lot of world champions and was considered a very strong player. So Bobby Fischer plays as white, so he plays e4 and Reshevsky goes c5, the Sicilian defense, knight f3, knight c6, d4, c takes d4, knight takes d4, and here Reshevsky plays g6, playing the accelerated dragon variation in the Sicilian defense. So the idea is to bring this bishop and to develop the pieces this way, to fianchetto. So here knight c3 plays Bobby, and bishop g7 by Reshevsky, and bishop e3. So white plan is to bring the queen to d2 and long castle and start an attack on the king side. So knight f6 is played, and here Bobby Fischer plays bishop c4, one of his very famous moves. In this position, by the way, there is a very interesting move for black, is knight to g4. This looks like a piece blunder, but if you look at this closely, after queen g4 you can just take this, and let's say now you see just simply an exchange of pieces, and it's even a little bit better for black. And here if he take the knight first, then he can take with this pawn and actually protect this knight. And other variation would be to, if he takes with this pawn, then after queen g4 there is d5, you see, attacking the queen and also attacking this bishop and eventually taking him, and also preparing d4, very interesting moves. So let's look how the game continued. So Reshevsky castled. Here Bobby Fischer played bishop b3. So black ideas here is to just go queen b6, maybe d6 and e5, and maybe start some sort of attack like this, and to start the game on the queen side. But here he also hopes that white will go f3, and instead of bishop b3 that white will go f3, because queen b6 would be a strong move, attacking this pawn and attacking this knight. So let me show it really quick. If f3, then queen b6, and let's say the bishop guards the pawn, then knight e4 takes, and as you can see, after this black just end the free pawn. So you gotta be careful. So bishop b3 is played by Bobby Fischer, and he's setting here a trap that Reshevsky eventually fell for it and lost the game very soon. So Bobby Fischer hopes that Reshevsky would play knight a5 and exchange his bishop for the knight, and Reshevsky eventually falls for this trap and goes this move. By the way, here you could also play knight g4 with the same ideas that I showed you before. If queen takes, then just exchange of pieces. So here Reshevsky fell for the trap and Bobby Fischer played e5, attacking this knight. Now if this knight goes to h5, then knight h5, then g4 and the knight is trapped. Another option is to take this, but here Bobby can play e takes on f6, and after the knight takes the rook, you take the pawn and the king must take because it attacks this rook, and after king takes, the queen takes the knight and has a better position as white. So The only remaining move for black was knight to e8, and this is a very big blunder, because here Fischer found the brilliant move, bishop takes on f7. Now let's check three variations. If the king moves away, then knight e6 and the queen is trapped. Look at this, she cannot move anywhere, and if you take, then you lose the queen and the game, of course. Other option would be to take with the king, but if you take with the king, then again knight to e6, and the queen is trapped. If you take with the pawn, I take your queen, and if you take with the king, then it's forced mate in 6 moves. Queen d5 check, king f5, g4, king must take on g4, rook g1 check, king on h4, queen e4 check, king h3, queen g2 check, king h4, and queen g4 mate. So other option that Reshevsky actually did in the game was to take with the rook, and here Bobby Fischer played knight e6. So Reshevsky could resign even before this move, but he was a big rival with Bobby Fischer and he continued to play, so he took the knight and Fischer took the queen. So in this position it is completely winning for white. He is attacking both pieces and is a piece up. So Reshevsky played a few more moves, and after this he decided to resign the game. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next video.